I want to get his thoughts first. We'll get Rod's thoughts first. Then we'll do Trajan Langdon because it kind of plays right into our Swisher break question. So, Rod, it's a lot going on with the Pistons, or if you ask Willie B, not a lot going on with the Pistons. But with everything that's going on,
he is for real bad.
He's for real bad over here. Take it away with Rod's thoughts.
What, did he want them to have the number 5 pick again? We're beyond that. We passed that. We graduated out of that 5 pick. No, I think it's NBA's in a weird space right now. Like, Dame's getting cut. That's what we're doing. And now we're starting to see some of these signings and things are gearing up. You have to feel better about where the Pistons are, especially in the East, that just kind of staying pat and adding the pieces that they did. And I don't know where the hate for Karis LeVert is coming from.
Thank you.
Crazy.
You absolutely need a shot creator in that second unit. And if you're not starting Duncan, then having that three-point shooter to go along with that and the kick out, and we know that Karis is a capable passer, like that's a combination that you absolutely missed last year. So I don't know, but I feel better about where the Pistons are going to be just based off of the things that they did. And here in Atlanta, there's a lot of optimism about Porzingis and Nah and the additions that they made to Luke Kennard. But it is the Pistons are right there. They have that opportunity if things go their way that they could be in the top 3, top 4 in the East.
Hey, you know what? And when you talk about just Atlanta real quick, before we go to the Trajan videos, they've made some improvements. I know that there's some people who feel bullish about what they can be next season. Definitely better than where they finished last year. As you see some of these teams retooling, as you see some of them making some head-scratching moves, you are confident that we're going to see a top 4 Pistons team next year?
I think top 4. Top 4, as long as they can avoid injury and they have that internal improvement. And I saw the Jalen Duren 3-point.
You saw the video. It's that time of the offseason,
yeah, man.
I mean, and it's just deja vu to me taking the Andre Drummond videos and like, hey, this could be a thing. And it's like, okay, here we go, all over again.
It's funny because, you know, when we're in practice, he does that every practice too, though. It's just a part of their routine. So it's funny when in the offseason, when that same workout that I've seen him do the last 2 years in practices, for some reason in the offseason, it just sends people into a flurry. But it is good to see Jalen Duren trying to work on his game. I just hope that in addition to that, like we know, he's working on the other things as well, getting better defensively, getting stronger and such. And, you know, I think that's the perfect thing, the perfect way to segue into Trajan Langdon's comments and such from the press conference yesterday, because he did talk about the fact that we're going to see a difference out of guys like Ausar Thompson. He said Ausar Thompson looks different. He said he looks muscular. He's filled out. And that, to me, gets me excited because I do believe we need to see players like him, players like Jalen Duren, and even Jaden Ivey come back strong next season. Yep. So let's hear from Trajan Langdon. The first video, if we can, JB Smooth. Let's hear about that trade exception because that's something that everybody's wondering, hey, what are the Pistons going to do with it? He explained exactly what this creates for the Pistons and their outlook ahead.
Sacramento will allow us different avenues to do things, whether that's now or later. We don't know, but we're not in a rush to fill the 14th, but I think we're excited about the rush put together.
Hey, Willie B, you're not going to like this. He said, hey, look, it gives us flexibility to have this trade exception, but we are not in a rush. We're not in a rush at all to use this thing. It's for the flexibility, and we've been teeing this up for months, even before the offseason hit, that we believe that the Pistons are really gearing up and keeping themselves flexible for the trade deadline as well as next offseason, where they have a whole lot of decisions to make on 3 of their young players and Tobias Harris's expiring contract, in addition to the fact that realistically, if they wanted to punt the players that they brought in this year to the moon after this season, they could do that too. So there's a whole lot of decisions they have to make, and I wanted to be able to at least get your take on Trajan Langdon saying, you know what, we're going to actually be patient and letting people know we're in no rush to use this. We like the way that our team, his quote, is built right now.
Same results next year.
You heard him?
Willie is upset, dog.
He's upset, man.
Take 5, bro. It's okay.
Who do you want them to go get, Willie? Who can they go get?
Who do you want them to go get?
You gotta.
Rod's asking.
You need one for. You need a big. If it could be Bobo or they gotta make it possible, and then make it possible, not impossible trade, but they need something, a stretch big.
He think
One
they
stretch
need that.
big to boost the interior. Just
And you'll be
need
satisfied after a stretch big.
Yes, that's it. Need help. You need help interior. That's what happened.
So you're not buying the Jalen Duren off-season 3-point videos. He was switching them, boys.
I'm buying them.
I'm not buying them either. And I rock with Duren. I'm not doing it.
If he can hit the 15, 18 footer, I'll be fine with that.
Yeah.
Just need help. Jalen Duren needs help. That's all
He does need
needs.
help.
Because Paul Reed is not enough. He needs another.
Shout out B-Ball Paul.
He-
2-year deal.
What up, Rod?
My boy on
It
the
needs another
2-year.
big. It needs another big to help out on the defensive end. He don't have to do that much. As long as he in the interior, or he shoot a 3-pointer, or he defend. That's it. That's all we need.
Okay, so an interior presence who defends and who can stretch the floor. Let me introduce you to Isaiah Stewart, who was hurt in the playoffs and did not play. It checks all the boxes of everything that you just said, and he was a little bit limited by the. They need more help than Isaiah Stewart. I mean, I don't disagree.
What a bubble.
But, I mean, yeah, his 32% is not going to be enough from three. You need somebody else, but I don't know if that player is out there. Like, if you were going to get John Collins, are you going to pay John Collins? So in dealing with a lot of these free agents that you want to go and get, not you, but people just want to go and get, one of the things that Trajan Langdon has done very well is to keep the cap flexibility. Is no albatross Blake Griffin contract that you're looking at. Ooh, I wish we could get up off of that contract. And even Isaiah Stewart at his $16 million is a bargain right now. When you see what people just got paid, that you're paying him a what was a bargain at the time, and we said that it was a bargain. It's $15 million a year, but it's something that as the cap continues to increase and people start getting paid and getting re-upped, that we're going to consider that to be a good deal in a couple of years, and it very much is that.
Yeah, definitely, man. And you know what? That's what he said, too. What I like about Trajan Langdon, as I like about Scott Harris and Brad Holmes, and even Eisman, is these people are actually true to what they say their plan is. And Eisman was for real with us when he said, hey, look, bro, my goal is not the playoffs this year. It's to build for the right way. He said it. People can see that they're still building somewhat the right way. But with I see you right.
I mean, give me the same face I was making there. I mean,
He was trying to be nice. But Trajan and Brad and you're looking at Scott, these guys have been true to it. He said, we're not going to do anything that's going to hamper the future for us. And I understand why. They have a lot of decisions to make. And I think people have to just even if we don't understand how all the CBA works, just look at their situation next offseason. It's crazy the amount of cap space that the Detroit Pistons could create by next offseason. It would be ridiculous for them to go and hamper themselves right now unless it's for a player that you believe is going to be firmly a part of your future. And you know what, though? Yeah, talk to me.
But even more, you keep that trade exception, and when you get to the deadline, you can bring in somebody. So everybody feels like they're in it right now, and they have an opportunity, and these free agents are happy because, hey, we're about to start the season, blah, blah, blah. When you get to the deadline and teams realize that they're out because of other injuries, because they just didn't live up to expectations, now you have an exception that you can bring in a $14 million guy, and it's, hey, it doesn't cost you anything in order to do that. So to Willie B's point, you can wait it out. You don't have to go into the season that way, but, hey, they have some options in their bigs. Is Asar going to come in and be shooting better? Those are the types of questions that we need to be asking. And yeah, I would love another big too. They're not deep at that point, at that position, but you have the opportunity to go and do some things. And with this depth, you can go and trade some of these younger guys that you have if you really feel like you're close and there's a guy that you want to go out and get.
Exactly that. And the thing is that I'm starting to gather, Rod, is that the young player's value is not established to the tune that the Pistons are okay with. Like, they're not going to sell cheap on guys like Jalen Duren, Asar Thompson, or even a Jaden Ivey if they were going to sell them. And that, to me, is a sign of a healthy organization. These are your lottery picks. These are your top 5 picks, and during the top 13 pick, who we know the Pistons organization had them on their top 5 on their draft board. You know, top 5 players, period, in that draft. So we understand how they value these guys, and I actually do. When you look at what the Tigers have done to go and bolster development in-house before they went and started splashing cash everywhere, I actually appreciate the fact that the Pistons, they're not just assessing, but they're trying to help guys get better. What did they go and do? They went before they even had a head coach in the Trajan Langdon era and brought in Fred Vincent. Looking at what the Tigers are doing right now, they did those moves. Those equated to winning moves. I'm looking at the Pistons doing it. It's equating to winning moves. I like the fact that they're going to put a lot of value on these draft picks. Otherwise, what are you doing? Why pick these guys? Why dub them to restore? Why say that this is the help that we have? Because Trajan, from my takeaway from this press conference, he 100% believes in these young players. Let's start with Jaden Ivey clip, and then we'll end it with the longer clip after that, where he talks about he believes what he's going to do, what they're going to do in the East. I'll save his answer for that clip, but let's go with the Jaden Ivey one right now.
I think the one thing that does get lost in all this, to be honest with you, is J.I.'s return. I mean, a lot of people are saying, who you fill and who you help, and these guys are exiting. I said, well, we have a pretty good free agent pickup in J.I., and so I think he's going to fill a lot of those point guard roles and playmaking roles, and that Karras will fill in that loss of Dennis going away as well.
Yeah, and in that one, you hear Trajan Langdon talking about Jaden Ivey. This question wasn't even prompted by how's Jaden Ivey doing. This was a question prompted at, do you believe you've effectively done enough to shore up this secondary ball handling role in the offseason? Trajan Langdon is the one who went and offered up. So, like Monty Williams a year ago or 2 years ago, just unprovokedly brought up Killian Hayes when we were trying to figure out about Marcus Sasser and Jaden Ivey. This year, we asked about the backup role, and you know what? Jaden Ivey is the first name out of the GM's mouth, out of the president, of basketball operations' mouth. And he stated, Jaden Ivey is a guy that we believe will and can handle all of this. Secondary facilitation, backup ball handling, because I know there's a lot of people who are worried about losing a Beasley, losing a Schroeder, and have we done enough to replace that? Trajan really believes in what Jaden Ivey can be as an overall player to fill those voids, and he also mentioned, you heard there, Karras LeVert.
Karras LeVert. That was going to be my 2 words. Karras LeVert is a backup ball handler. He's not a point guard per se, but at that size, at 6'6", you want another ball handler who can facilitate and create, and he can do those things. I just think it's going to end up being a very underrated. It is a very underrated pickup right now, but we'll start to see the fruits of that as we get into the season.
Definitely. And we got one more video for you guys, and this is Trajan Langdon on his assessment of this team and what they can do in the East, because we continue to ask. Like, I know Willie B's over there scowling. Have we done enough? Let's hear from Trajan Langdon, man.
I think we have a chance to compete next year. So when you say representative, I think the main thing that for us is continuing to let these young guys develop, and they're in the gym and they're working their butt off. So our thing is, like I said, from initially in the summer, if they get better, we're going to get better. So it was still finding pieces to complement our young players and their growth and their ability to reach their potential. So obviously put people around that's going to continue to help Kate grow and develop as well. And I think with our 2 additions, we got bigger. We want to continue to put more guys that can play make a little bit, but also can shoot the ball. These 2 guys have postseason experience as well. So I think in a way that, we do get bigger. Will we be better? I'm not sure, but obviously that comes from, again, the growth of our young guys being in the gym and development.
And he continues to put this offseason and what this team's success will be this year right back on those young players. He continues to say, if we're going to be anything, it's going to be about how we build around these guys, how we build around not just Cade, but all of these other young players that they're saying, these guys have to make the step. What they're doing in the gym, and he's continuing to say this, they get better, we will get better. That's a crazy endorsement, because this is not just the GM, this is the president of basketball operations, in which they gave him singular voice of power in this whole entire basketball thing for the Pistons. And he's stating that these young players can take such a leap between now and the start of next season that it's as if they've went and added a couple good players to the squad. That's how much belief he has in them, that this team, as currently constructed, even though they don't even have all of the pieces they had last year, they haven't even one-to-one replaced everybody. They just believe in that much in the young players and in the Jaden Ivey that this team is going to step up out of 6th seed and be a team that has a potential to host a playoff series, Rod.
Right. And the thing is that you're not panicking. This was the summer that you could have panicked and said, you know what, let's trade everybody. Let's go get KD. Let's go get one of these bigger names. And we need a guy who's going to be Batman to Cade's Robin or it's not that. And the fact that your front office isn't panicking to try to make a move like that is a strong signal that they're on the right path. You don't have to go all in and push all the chips in order to be relevant. Sometimes you just get the right timing. And with all of these injuries in the East that we've been talking about, by virtue of that, you're going to be better than you were. And you count on that internal improvement. And we've seen the drive from Jaden Ivey that he wants to be better. With a lot of that stuff just coming back and the pieces that they've added, they were very specific things. Like Karis LeVert was not this, maybe this is a guy that we could use. No, it addresses a very specific need. And the pivot to go Duncan Robinson after the Beasley stuff was we know we need 3-point shooting. Mm-hmm. And we know that he is a consistent, proven playoff guy. And as much as we love Malik Beasley, you look at what they've done, and nothing was super splashy. But if you thought you were losing Schroeder, they've kind of pivoted pretty well to cover that stuff up. And to not get a player back in that Schroeder deal, to still end up with a ball handler in Karis, I think they did pretty well with what the circumstances ended up being.
And you know what? We said this early on. We said, you know what? We're going to call this the offseason of pivot. And he had to do it twice in this offseason. I thought he came away quite well. And you should put the onus on these young players. Rod, we've been sitting up here telling the Woodward Pistons audience and Woodward Sports audience for a few years that this rebuild, this renaissance, this ascending to the next level, it has to be off of these young players and their energy and what they're providing. You look at the Magic right now. I'm sorry, everybody thought that they were already I guess healthy isn't the right word. I was going to say healthy organization, but obviously they're dealing with injuries. To Paolo, to Franz, those are about the only things that can trip them up. But we know if those young players are playing, those young players are leading that Magic team to the playoffs. We haven't been able to say that about our young players until this year with Cade Cunningham taking that next step up. We need the rest of these guys. Like who's Cade's Paolo to Franz on this squad? Do we have that? And based on what I hear from Trajan Langdon, it sounds like he does expect at least one of these young guys, whether it be Jalen Duren or Sar Thompson or even a Jaden Ivey, to take that step next year. But I think we have some we ready for Swisher break?
Oh, of course.
Yes. Should we
My
take a quick
segment.
one, JB Smooth, or we just get through the Swisher break?
Let's just hear from Vin Johnson and come right back to you then. How about that?
Hey, let's do that, and then we'll throw the graphic up to make it official. So we want the chat family to definitely be involved as well with Swisher break. But if you've got a crisis, let Vin point the way. Step one. Hey, Willie B, this is for you. You got a crisis right now in the Pistons world. Step one, verify with details and photos. Step two, engage your attorney.
What you think?
Step three, notify your insurance provider. Get justice with Vin. Vin Johnson Law. Hey, and we are back. Let's see that graphic, JB Smooth.
Gotta throw it up, man. I ain't seen it in
Especially-
so long.
Hey, Swisher break.
God damn, that hits me right in the
Throwing
feels,
the pass
man.
over to KG. What up, though, brother?
Hey, y'all know what it is, man. Swisher break. We got some great questions constructed by Kool-Aid. I only got one to add to that if we have time. We'd love to get that one off, but we will start here. Trajan Langdon deserves at least a B+ for the Pistons offseason, swish or brick.
When we're talking about the offseason of pivot, I do believe that this is a passing grade. I do believe that this is more than a passing grade. I think this is more than a C. I think that this is, when you look at everything that he had, he kept the cap sheet clean. He kept their flexibility at the trade deadline wide open. So if there is a need that presents itself, they can actually go out and play with a lot of money without adding anything else to their books. They already have it already taken care of, and they've gone, and the positions of need that they lost, they were able to fill those things. I believe it is a B+. But what say ye, Flannel Sam?
I'm going to say brick, but not by much. I think Dadwit Tourette's nails it in the chat. IDK, I don't know about B+, but I'd say B or B-. There's one move in mind that I would like Trajan to make. We may get to it today. We may get to it later this week. That would make it a B+, A-. But I am... As basketball players, I understand Karis LeVert and I understand Duncan Robinson, and I've been championing these moves on this show. Right now I'd say B or B-, not B+.
Yeah, you got a lot of support for the Bs. I see some swishes in the chat from Greg, but we'll continue to go around. Hey, Willie B, I gotta ask you, man. You giving them that B+ swish or brick?
You like a disappointed parent right now. This shit is crazy.
A break. A break because they need one piece, like Flannel said. I'm back in Flannel on this one. Is that you need a backup big for
Jeez.
even Stewart and then Jalen Duren.
JB
Yeah.
Smooth. Oh, JB Smooth. What up, though?
I was gonna say Willie still has something else, but I don't want to say it's a brick. It's like a missed layup. I'll say that it just rolls off the side of the rim because it's not B plus. I'm giving it, but at least a B, a solid B. You still want to see him make some more moves. Hopefully you can get rid of Tobias and get another big, but that's just
Here, they back on that shit again. They back on that again. Now that the season
At
over.
least we understand something.
Back on the bullshit.
But anyway, it's a solid B. It's a solid B. You're still hoping that he makes some moves, but it's a solid B.
Wait,
Welcome
they
back,
still have
JB
Tobias F, right, JB?
Yes,
F.
yes.
No, F.
JB, we're not doing that. That man damn near like carried us through this playoff run. We're not gonna do that. But
He
Shout
carried
out
the
KG.
orange slices.
I
yes.
agree with Sam and KG. I mean Sam and KG.
You agree
Sam,
with KG?
Yeah,
You agree
of
with
course I
KG?
agree with KG. But Sam and JB, I do agree with. It is a solid B for me. But what a lot of people and Ryan, I'm so glad you came on here and spoke the gospel about Karis LeVert because the outrage in terms of that signing was like blasphemous to me. I know he's not the bordering 20-point a game scorer that he once was, but that's a very, very good addition to this bench. I think most people just forgot that this Pistons team is ahead of schedule. Like, and you know, Kool-Aid, we kind of talked about it yesterday. Like, that maybe the decision was always whatever happens this year happens, but we're looking at 2026, we're looking at 2027. So I'm not mad at anything they've done. You were able to pivot from a Malik Beasley situation and were able to get Duncan Robinson, who is the same type of player. Literally, they are a wash. And you went out there and got Karis LeVert to replace a Dennis Schroeder and, in some instances, Simone Fontecchio. So I'm cool, man. Could they do more? Yes, I still think there's more to be done. But as of right now, I'm cool as a fan.
Hey, you know what? The chat lit up with this one. Dante151, he says a swish. A Diz says brick. He gives him a B. Dad with Tourette's, you read that one earlier. He says he'd probably say a B. Charles McClain, brick. Hey, Dad with Tourette's gives him what, the maybe B minus. Greg, though, he gives him a swish. John Effing Lord, a swish. Terrell Lamar gives him an A. And I saw, who was it? Somebody that stated, I think it might have been A Diz, but it stated that, oh, here it is. L, actually. He says he gives him an A plus because they have foresight. They had the foresight to keep money for the trade deadline. I actually, I get it.
And that trade exception could be huge in terms of a deal later on. We don't know.
What say ye, Rod Beard?
I'm going to say a solid B. So it's a brick, but I'll say a solid B. If they went and got Brooke Lopez, I would go A plus all day.
Oh, yeah. Without a doubt.
That would have checked all of the boxes for what they needed. But I mean, it is. When you look at what free agency was, and all of the names that we talked about, the Bobby Portises, the Nas Reeds, even the Salty Adam, all of those folks came off the board immediately before even the negotiating period was really open. Yep. They were all gone. So there wasn't a big to go out there and get unless it was like a Brooke Lopez. But he wanted to go to the Clippers. He thinks that's a better deal. Hey, stay in the East and join this Pistons team, and they could be fire. But for what they did in having to pivot last minute, I think that gives them a solid enough B.
Hey, shout out. That's fair.
Absolutely. Rob speaking the gospel, and kind of to piggyback what Sam was talking about, I know what player you was referring to, and we have a question for it. The Pistons should pursue one of P.J. Washington or Obi Toppin before the season starts, swish or break.
Hey, listen, you're talking about some players who, with Obi Toppin, you've seen this guy play in a lot of different situations. I do believe he brings some experience to you. And with the P.J. Washington, I love the versatility that he brings to this thing and a little bit of that Detroit grit. And I do believe that P.J. Washington got kinfolk from here. I believe it's his father who might be from the Saginaw area. And so I got to start with you, Flannel Sam, because I do believe that one of those players would absolutely be a swish of a free agency for the Detroit Pistons. But what say ye? They got to pursue one of these two players, swish or break?
Neither of them are actually my first choice, but I will go with Swish because I really like Obi Toppin. From everything that I've seen, he would fit under the trade exemption. Showed a lot in the playoffs and the finals. Has improved his three-point shot. Obviously, is athletic, can rebound, can defend. I would love Obi Toppin on this team.
Well, would that make you happy, Willie B?
Oh, definitely. I'll give a switch because I definitely Obi Toppin, high flyer, 6'9", He been athletic. He know how to play his role. He can rebound. He can bend a little. He's perfect. I like PJ Washington a lot better. Yeah. Because the way he does in Dallas, and he's athletic, and he can guard multiple positions. So I lean to PJ on that one.
And
That's
just one more extra thing about Obi Toppin, wouldn't require a lot of usage. Did a lot of damage on less than 20 minutes per game last year in the regular season.
That's actually a huge point. Yeah. What up, though, JB Smooth?
This is definitely a swish. I wouldn't mind a PJ Washington. He did a lot for the Mavs, as Willie just stated as well too. But I think I prefer Obi Toppin a little bit more. Just as what Flannel said, you don't have to use him a lot, but still, he's very athletic, and you like what you've seen out of him in the playoffs this past season. So give me Obi Toppin and a swish.
What up, though?
It's a swish on one of these guys for me. I think PJ Washington would be the perfect addition to this team. Like the way he defends, he can hit a 3-ball, he drives the paint. Like he is everything that you would want in a player fitting the mold of this Pistons team. I'm still not sold on Obi Toppin, and he did have a great year, and Sam has done a great job of like trying to illustrate that. Maybe it's just some of my bias from what I've seen from him, but he still seems a little bit limited to me, as opposed to a PJ Washington that can play all over the floor. But I would pursue PJ, but if it's Obi Toppin, I wouldn't be upset. I just don't think that it's not a dire need to pursue him.
Yeah, and I see the chat is split again, man. I'm seeing some swishes here from John F. from Lord, from Mitten Maid, from Greg. A says PJ was solid on the Mavs. Dad with Tourette's. PJ is a big. Want to a lot of Pistons fans. I guess a lot of Pistons fans definitely want PJ Washington here. I also saw some bricks in the chat too, but largely it seems like people are for it. But Terrell Lamar says brick. Dante151, he wants Toppin, and Wheezy D 313, he says neither. Which I saw a couple of those in the chat. Neither? You don't want neither of those?
Right, what?
Run it back. You good to go? Hey, Rob Beard, what say ye?
I don't think Obi Toppin is gettable. Because he's in that 15 mil range, 14 this year, 15 and 16. His contract escalates over the next couple of years. You probably have to trade to go get him. What is PJ Washington's salary for next year? Expiring 14.15. What is the Pistons trade exception? 14.2.
Oh, you
cooking that man.
You cooking.
Go get that man on an expiring. And that was what I was alluding to. That's what I was alluding to, is that at the trade deadline, because Dallas can say, you know what, with Cooper Flagg, we don't really need to have PJ, but that's a guy by the trade deadline, if Dallas figures out, hey, we're not in this like we thought we would be because AD needs another surgery for
goodness. I need to kick the tires again. Remember at the beginning of the season,
what were they thinking on AD? What were they thinking on AD? It's just.
It wouldn't have been that bad of a move if he hadn't have got hurt, though, because the way that front court was constructed defensively, they would have had trouble in the playoffs. Like, a lot of teams would have had trouble in the playoffs.
They would have.
Who gets hurt more?
But Anthony Davis. It's fair.
Anthony Davis or Zion Williamson? Who gets hurt more?
Oh, Zion! What the F are you talking about with all due respect?
Oh, here comes Sam. Sam from the top rope to defend his boy.
This idea that AD gets us hurt as much as Embiid and Zion is not proven out by the facts.
Every year. It's every year. You can make one of those little skeletons with body parts of everything that AD has hurt in his career, and it's always something. He's going to play through this every year. It's something.
It's
Anthony Davis.
I'm sorry. Can you pick out
more than Zion? Zion's played like 30% of the games in his career. What are you guys talking about? He doesn't play games. AD's going to the freaking Hall of Fame when he retires. He is.
Yes,
he is.
But at this stage,
he is.
I don't think at this
he's hurt
stage,
every season, though. That is not a lie.
I think that narrative does matter. If we're talking his career, yes, there are things to like about AD, but at this stage in his career, I don't feel comfortable with either one of those guys on the squad, especially with how much they're going to command. And do I expect Anthony Davis to be injured before the trade deadline? Do I expect it to be an injury that makes him have to think, do we have to go on ahead and do something different? I do. I don't expect him to be some pivotal figure for the freaking Dallas Mavericks. I remember last year him going, "Oh yeah, I'm here," and then that was just it. He was just an act like just that. And that was it. And that's what I expect out of him going forward.
I am gonna go to
No,
everybody.
it's a detached it's a detached retina now. Is this
Detached
latest thing from
retina.
yesterday?
Right.
Detached retina that he played through.
His eye hanging out.
He played through it.
Man,
He played through it, but it's an injury every single year for
That's
dude.
crazy, dog.
I am going
You
to-
gotta admit, dog, a detached retina is wild.
It is wild.
I am going to be at Anthony Davis's Hall of Fame induction and be like, "That's my guy."
Yeah, that's
my
fine.
guy.
Nobody said he's not a Hall of Fame player,
Will you
but
let
he's
us in
soft.
the after
He's
party?
very soft.
Absolutely.
Champion, 2020 with the Lakers, no big
2020.
deal.
Where did they play that?
Played 75 games or more 3 times in his career. I'm sure Zion's done that.
He won that on the. He
That's
went like
equal.
on the road.
Both of
He
those.
went home.
Oh,
You're
so
right.
the bubble doesn't count now. Congrats.
Oh my God, y'all hell on the bubble.
I'm not on that train. The
No,
bubble
no,
counts.
it does count.
The bubble counts.
I'm
It
sure
does
if Dame
count.
Lillard and any other team would have won it, it would have been fine. But because it was LeBron and AD, people hate on it. That's fine. That's fine.
No,
That's
It's heavy.
AD's cool. I'm just saying which one of them is hurt more. Is like you can make up a press release with an Anthony Davis injury because you know it's coming. He plays through
Zion for
his injuries, and I'll give him credit for that. Zion is just he gets injured and he's out for 10 games every single time. So I'm not saying that one is more than the other. I'm just saying AD is oft injured.
Zion out with wobbly
Fair enough.
legs.
Right. Most of the Zion shit came from weight, man. But I'm just saying. But
Weight and habits.
I ain't think we was gonna get caught up on just that question. But we'll get 2 more off.
Brought
if
Anthony
we got
Davis
time.
to a flannel party. What did you think was going to happen? I
Yeah,
don't know
that's
who did
true.
it, but,
He
like,
gonna defend his boy at all times. But the next
And
question.
CMU. You brought CMU to the party too, and look at that kid.
It's so easy to irritate Flannel. We don't know day to day what might irritate
With
Flannel.
all due respect for me, man.
Right.
Like, Flannel caught himself so quick. He looked at the monitor and saw himself like, oh, God.
Mr. Glass.
KG,
Save us, KG.
KG, before you go on to the next question, I just wanted to add my input.
Oh, talk to him.
Let's go.
What up?
Just
Talk
on
to him.
PJ Washington, I feel like at 26, he'd fit well with veterans like Tobias Harris and then also younger investments. And then also, like, the Pistons need power forward, and getting some power forward youth is great.
And it
That's
fits.
nice.
Haley
Shout out
dropping
to
facts.
intern Haley.
Look at that.
Haley
Look at
dropping
that.
facts.
Intern Haley in the building. She's learning the sound booth right now. Hey, I see Terry Foster walking in here with a mean lip and some paste this morning.
Oh,
I don't know what happened. Shout out T. Foster in the building,
T.
too,
Foster.
man.
What is going on
Get
today,
us the
man?
third question real quick, KG.
Young man,
Shout out to
how you
T.
doing?
Foster.
Let me get.
Get him his emperor's chair now.
Right. I'm sorry. I'll be in your chair.
We got the
next
legend ride
question.
on.
Jalen Duren and Asar Thompson will prove Langdon right. They will step towards stardom this season, swish or brick.
He continued to talk about what these young guys have to be next year, and that these guys are in the gym working, that this is what the success is going to be built on, and he says that they will be better because these young guys are going to be better. We'll start with you, Flannel Sam. And it's a pair. It's a pair. It's not an or. It's a pair. Jalen Duren and Asar Thompson.
brick.
Ooh.
Why?
Ooh, the pairing.
Here's what I think they will do this season. I think Asar Thompson's will get more offensive usage. I also think that he will be in the conversation for all defense NBA first team, and I think Jalen Duren will average about 14 and 11. I don't think Jalen Duren's a star. Sue me. He's fine. He's a good player. I think he'll continue to develop. But
You got a lot of people disagreeing with you in the chat.
I think Asar Thompson
Yeah.
has more star potential than Duren. I don't think Duren has star potential. Not that get him off the team or anything, but I don't think Duren has star potential.
Oh, look at Willie.
What up, though?
Willie.
What say ye? It is fair.
What the fuck you just said? I love you, fam, but god damn it, Jalen. Excuse my language. Sorry, Mr. Beer, and sorry, intern Haley. That's my language, but I called it swish because Jalen Duren has stardom. He has stardom. He got a traditional big man role. He could double. He's athletic. He could grab rebounds. He could, if his offense got better, he gonna go on the starter. He could probably be an all-star next year.
We saw Drummond we saw him get all NBA. We saw him become an all-star.
Yeah, we
Can
saw
do
Drummond
people
all-star.
believe
Why
Duren can
not
at least
Jalen
get there?
Duren? Why not Jalen Duren? He deserve it. And Asar Thompson, yes, he could be a utility. He could be more offense. I think it would be a good chance for him, both of them, go on to stardom. But I think Jalen Duren will be the first one. Then Asar Tarzan will be.
Oh, you got Jalen Duren ahead of Asar.
Yeah, because Asar.
I don't think he's
Asar
crazy.
is a Swish.
I
I
don't
know
think he's
you
crazy.
know. We'll get to you. Mr.
Yeah,
KG.
Asar Tarzan is a Swish Army knife, a Scottie Pippen type, but more muscular, more athletic. If he got offensive together,
A better
he
Scottie
probably.
Pippen.
I
Man.
I go hand in hand. Hand in hand.
Flannel was
I
stopping
do-
himself.
I help you out with that, Flannel. You know.
Oh shit!
I'm
Wait
just joking, I'm just joking.
All right, JB. yeah, right.
Swisher
Move it right
It's the
along.
pair, Duren and Asar. They're going to prove Langdon right. They're going to start stepping towards stardom next season.
Give me Swish on
Let's
this
go.
one. Give me Swish. Did no one see him doing the threes? Come on now. My man's opening up his game right now. I definitely think both of these two take a huge step forward. At least in my opinion. I don't know what Flannel or anyone else is thinking right now, but I at least got him taking a huge step forward. So give me Swish on this one. I can be hopeful, right?
You can be hopeful. What up, though, KG?
All right, so I think this is a slight brick because it's hard to say. No, only slightly though. But
Hater.
hey,
Damn,
call me what you will. I've been called a lot of things, and I'm still here. So nah, but
still standing.
hey, but I think slightly because it's hard to say that two players will take that step into stardom. I think that's just asking, just a bit much. If they both do, that's great. I would say just based on the nature of the position, I do agree with Willie B that Jalen Duren could be that next one that can elevate to that level, because all he got to do is just keep being aggressive, keep attacking the rim, get as many rebounds as you can. You look up, he's 12 and 14 on the year. He can probably make an all-star reserve spot. I can see that. But with Sar Thompson, he's still kind of limited offensively. I would love for him to get a jump shot. It may take a little longer for him to develop a jump shot, and that's why I would say Duren more than Asar, but they definitely both have the potential to do so. It's just a lot to ask in one season.
Man, the chat lit up with this one. Denver Blair, Swish. I'm going to just read some of these swishes here. I see you in the chat, Dixie. I'm not going to say your last name on this one.
Say it.
Dixie put a
Say it.
swish.
Oh, now I gotta
Denver,
look.
yeah, I'm not reading that name. You almost got
Dixie
me.
who?
You almost got me. Denver Blair, swish. Dante151, all caps, major swish. J Hart, swish. But we got Charles McClain with the brick. And we got a couple people who don't quite see it. Charles McClain says Asar, yes. Duren, no. And that seems to be when I see there being a no and then putting somebody, I see there being a lot more support for Asar than Duren if one of these players are going to step towards it. But Rod, the pair, are they stepping towards stardom, Swisher, or brick?
Not both. I think Asar is going to take some steps to get there. And I think Duren is right on the cusp of that. But it's going to be hard because there's going to be so much more space for Jaden Ivey to step into that role that it's going to be hard for two guys to do it in the same year, much less three along with Ivey.
Hold on. What? Rod agrees with me on Jalen Duren? What? Look at you. You've grown, man. You done went to Atlanta and grew up.
Shocking.
It's a blank post-it. I haven't had to do anything yet. So
Respect for Mr.
Duren he just stepped into the number 2 all of a sudden, huh?
Well, last year he was the number 2. Not this year, but last year he was the number 2 effectively.
Here's the question: is it Jalen Howard or Dwight Duren?
All right, here we go, man. But the learning curve for him is only slight. Like, if he can develop a hook shot or some kind of, mid-range jumper, that would be great. But all he has to do is keep playing the way that he played last year.
Find a way to mentally turn this into reality. You
Yeah.
are bigger than everybody else.
Own
out
the
there
paint.
court,
You
bro.
bigger, you
Own it.
stronger. Yes.
It's his paint. And we see when he goes to those stretches where he's playing like that, that's when you saw him walking, strutting in. We can hear it. Oh, Jalen Duren's here. No, we hear him strutting down the hall. You don't got to tell us. We getting ready. Put on our recorders for the press conference after the game, and he stepped up like, yo, yeah, man, this is how I'm going to be playing now, because earlier, I'll be through with y'all, I was on some soft stuff. And it was interesting to kind of hear that this was something that the team, from coaches to players, are effectively telling each other, hey, you're going to have to step up. This ain't good enough. And I absolutely love that about the fact that this team responded. What did we hear from other guys? What did we hear from the Cleveland Cavaliers? Oh, JB Bickerstaff he just killed our momentum. He just killed our morale, right? He's too hard of a coach, not a player's coach. I continue to tell people, when you looked at what's going on there behind the scenes, I think that those guys aren't necessarily put together the way to respond to a guy like JB Bickerstaff, who's going to hold you accountable, who's going to walk in and tell you, I don't care if you're this star or that star, what you have to do to be able to fit into his system. And that's what I want out of a coach, to be able to do that. And you know what these guys did? They stepped up. They performed. They got better. I absolutely love that about this team, because you know what, Rod? I feel like if a player like Ty Jerome was able to take that type of criticism rather than running his mouth about JB Bickerstaff, I feel like he would have been a Piston this offseason, bro. What Ty Jerome do that didn't fit? I feel like he would, because remember the rumors came out early. I'm like, there's no way when rumors come out, it's an agent or somebody associated with the team. Why would JB Bickerstaff leak that? So it's just like, Ty, you played yourself, bro. You played yourself, man. But I love the fact that, JB Bickerstaff has been able to go out there and, from an aspect of development, be able to present responsibilities to these people and say, you got to take the next step. And these players are wanting to do that. I wanted to see intern Haley. Did you have any last words before I get last words from Rod Beard?
For Sar Thompson, the defense is there. He just needs to add a shot, and then he'll be pretty unstoppable. I love Jalen Duren. Like, I love watching him. He's great in the paint. Yeah. His dunks are insane, but I think I would favor Asar over Durham.
Ooh. Okay. Got some more Asar love. It's going to be interesting to see how this thing plays out, because Trajan is really believing in these young guys. But Rod Beard, your last words.
We're getting some static on Rod's, and so I don't know if we'll be able to hear him really. Yeah,
I can hear him now.
Yeah. Ah, man. Rod, we're going to wrap up now. It's a little static. We're going to wrapping up the show now, but thank you so much for your time every single week, man. It's been a crazy ride, man, for years now. Doing this Woodward Pistons podcast, and then we migrated it over here to Wake Up Woodward as well. But Rod, thank you so much. Senior sports editor at the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Thank you so much for your time today, Rod.
Thank you, Rod.
Appreciate you, Rod.
Hey, chat family, you see that? He put the lights up, right? So go ahead and smash that like button.
Might as well.
I know we got to wrap up, and maybe we'll just do we got time to just satisfy the like button real quick?
Why not, man?
Let's just go
Why
ahead
not?
and do
JB back in the building. The Woo crew is whole again. Let's do it, man. Hey, we appreciate y'all joining us out there today on this fine episode of Wake Up Woodward. And just go ahead and hit that like button on the way out. You know, you got a long day. It's raining. You may be getting into some activities in the sheets, but just go ahead and hit that like button before you do that.
Get that like button.
We appreciate you.
Shout out to KG back in the building,
Original.
man.
It
And shout out
feels
to that
good,
dude,
dog.
Justin, too. You guys already know he's usually more into this commentary, but he's running around handling a lot right now and making sure that our interns are learning, and that these are people that we believe are going to be part of this team for some time. So